My name is Maya. For 10 long years, my husband, Anthony Carter, convinced the world I was the luckiest woman alive. Not because our marriage was a sanctuary of love, but because I had managed to catch the great Anthony Carter, a star professor, a brilliant mind, a man who looked at the world from an ivory tower. To our friends, his colleagues, and even my own family, he painted a very specific picture of me. He told them I was just a high school graduate, a woman whose only contribution to the world was a pretty face. And every time he made that joke at a dinner party, everyone laughed. I laughed too. I had to. But inside, something was turning into cold, hard stone. They didn't know that while they were laughing at the dumb wife, I was observing them. I was studying them like laboratory rats, including my husband. I met Anthony when I was 19, working at a small, sun-drenched cafe near the campus. He was a PhD student then, always buried in dusty books. One afternoon, he looked up and asked, "Do you read philosophy, or is your world limited to caffeine and steamed milk?" I told him the truth. I told him I only had a high school diploma. He didn't mock me then. He smiled that predatory, charming smile and said, "Knowledge isn't just in schools, Maya. Sometimes the most beautiful souls are the ones uncorrupted by formal education." I fell for it. I thought it was soul-deep validation. I didn't realize that for Anthony, my lack of education wasn't a quality he admired. It was a requirement. He didn't want a partner. He wanted a pedestal. He wanted someone he could stand on to feel taller. The first few years of our marriage were a quiet, suffocating nightmare. Anthony climbed the academic ladder with a ferocity that was terrifying. And as he went up, he made sure I stayed down. I remember a faculty gala 2 years into his tenure. The room was filled with the smell of expensive cologne and the sound of intellectual ego. A senior professor asked me about my thoughts on the psychology of power. I started to speak. I had been reading his books in secret, but Anthony cut me off before I could finish my first sentence. "Oh, don't mind Maya," he said, swirling his wine. "She thinks power is just a brand of laundry detergent." The room erupted. I stood there, holding a tray of appetizers, feeling the heat rise to my neck. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was when he leaned in later that night and whispered, "Don't try to be smart, Maya. It doesn't suit your face. Just stay quiet and look pretty. That's all you're good for." The turning point came on our 6th anniversary, a night that was supposed to be about us. Instead, Anthony turned it into another showcase for his brilliance. I had spent 6 hours preparing a 5-course meal for his department heads. As I was in the kitchen, plating the dessert, I heard his voice from the study. He was talking to the dean. "My wife?" Anthony chuckled. "She's a great ornament. But let's be honest, Julian. The lights are on, but nobody's home. She's completely brainless." The dean laughed, a deep, condescending sound. I stood there, clutching a silver spoon so hard it bent in my hand. In that moment, the woman who loved Anthony Carter finally died, and M. Rivers was born. Anthony had a routine. He was a man of habit. Asleep by 10 p.m. every single night. The moment I heard his rhythmic, arrogant snoring, I would go to the basement. I didn't watch TV. I didn't scroll through social media. I studied. I took every advanced course I could find online. Neuroscience, behavioral economics, sociopathology. I wasn't just learning. I was searching for a way to dismantle him. And then, I found it. The first twist. I was cleaning Anthony's office one morning when I found his new research paper, the one that was supposed to make him a household name. As I read through his notes, I realized something chilling. He had been stealing my observations. He would ask me casual questions over breakfast about how I felt as a non-intellectual in a social setting. I would answer him honestly, giving him deep, raw insights into human insecurity and social hierarchy. And he was taking my words, dressing them up in academic jargon, and claiming them as his own genius discoveries. He wasn't just mocking me, he was harvesting me. I didn't confront him, not yet. Instead, I began to feed him poisoned data. I gave him theories that sounded brilliant but had fatal logical flaws. And meanwhile, under the name M. Rivers, I began to publish the real work. I wrote a paper titled "The Parasitic Intellectual: How Mediocre Men Steal Brilliance from the Silenced." I posted it on the most prestigious peer review forum in the country. Within 48 hours, it went viral. The entire academic world was asking, "Who is M. Rivers?" Anthony was obsessed with the paper. He would sit at the dinner table, fuming, reading M. Rivers' words out loud. "This person is a visionary," Anthony would say, his face red with envy. "They are saying things I've only dreamed of." I would just nod and pass him the salt. "Maybe you should invite them to speak at your university, dear," I suggested innocently. The night of the faculty gala arrived. Anthony was in high spirits. He thought he was about to be promoted to department chair. The dean stood at the podium. "Before we announce the new chair," the dean said, "we have a surprise. The mysterious M. Rivers has agreed to join us tonight." Anthony's eyes scanned the room, looking for a man in a tweed jacket. Instead, I stood up. I walked to the stage in a dark navy silk dress that cost more than Anthony's car. The silence in the room was so heavy it felt like it would crack the floor. Anthony stared at me, his mouth hanging open like a fish gasping for air. "Maya," he hissed, "sit down. You're embarrassing yourself." I didn't even look at him. I reached the microphone and looked at the dean. "Thank you, Julian," I said. My voice was calm, steady, lethal. "I am M. Rivers." I pulled out a folder and handed it to the dean. "And in this folder you will find a detailed log of Professor Anthony Carter's recent research. You will find that every original idea he has published in the last year was actually taken from my private journals. I have the original time-stamped files to prove it." The second twist. I hadn't just written my own papers. I had documented every single time Anthony had mined my brain for his own gain. I had recordings. I had notes. I didn't just outshine him. I exposed him as a fraud. Anthony's face went from white to a sickly gray. The dean looked through the papers, his expression turning to stone. "Anthony," the dean said, his voice cold. "My office, Monday morning. Don't bother bringing your keys." The room that used to laugh at me was now looking at me with pure, unadulterated awe. I walked off the stage and straight to the front door. Anthony caught up to me at the car. "You ruined me," he whispered, his voice shaking. "How could you do this? I'm your husband." I looked at him, and for the first time in a decade, I felt nothing. "You didn't want a wife, Anthony," I said as I got into the driver's seat. "You wanted a mirror, but you forgot that mirrors can also show you exactly how small you really are." That was 6 months ago. Today, I am the one lecturing at the university. Anthony? He's teaching at a community college in another state, if he's lucky. He still calls me sometimes, begging for a second chance. But I don't answer, because I'm too busy reading. And this time, I'm not reading for him. I'm reading for me. What do you think? A woman endures 10 years, then turns it all around. Is that strength? Or revenge? If it were you, would you leave early? Or wait until the day you silence the whole world?